Hey again, Flosstube friends, welcome back to my channel, Pages and Stitches. That's spelled pages, the number 3 stitches, both here and on Instagram. My name is Kelly and I'm finally back. I'm back for another update. I'm here for Flosstube update number 30, which is really exciting. It's been a minute. Yeah, I have had a crazy couple of months. So filming a Flosstube kind of fell on the back burner, which is fine. I mean, that's life, right? And I did mention last time that it was going to be a little bit longer between updates for the foreseeable future. So thank you so much for your patience, and thank you for coming back to check in with me today. My dryer is going, so if you hear tumbling in the background, I'm sorry. I'm also doing laundry. I just got to do it at the same time. So don't worry, it'll go off in a bit. So today is Sunday, July 21st. It is later in the day. It's like 4:30ish, and you'll have to forgive the lighting because it's later in the day and it's a little bit overcast outside. Like everything's kind of funky. So I will do my best to correct that in editing so that the colors aren't weird, but if it is weird, oops. So like I said, it's been a hot minute since I've been on Flosstube. I took a break, and that break was a break. So thank you to everybody who reached out to me to wish me well and make sure I was doing okay and check in and make sure I was still alive. And I'm fine. I was just, living life. So to the new viewers out there, first of all, welcome. Thank you. I hope you like what you see and want to subscribe and keep coming back for more. We're a little crazy, a little weird. But lots of fun. So, like I said, please keep coming back. Also, you may notice that behind me I have a quilt design wall. I also film quilters videos in a similar style to these Flosstube videos. So if you are a quilter at all, or if you have any interest at all in that craft and sewing in general, keep an eye out. I'm going to be filming a Quilter's Corner update right after this. I film one Quilter's Corner for every Flosstube. So that's coming soon, and you're welcome to check me out there as well. And to returning viewers, you guys know how much I appreciate you. And if you don't, you should, because I do. I adore the connections we've made here through this crazy tiny niche corner of the internet about cross stitch, and I'm very tickled to have met so many lovely people out there in the world. And so if you have come back to hang out with me again, you're a true blue friend, and I appreciate you. And yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for, I don't know, caring about what I'm doing here or me. That's very nice of you. I appreciate you. So it's been about like 10-11 weeks since my last update. So that being said, I have a lot of things that have happened. I'm going to try and go through all of the life updates really quickly, because I know that's not what a lot of people are here for, right? And feel free to reach out on Instagram if you have any questions regarding anything. So first things first, a lot of you have known that I've been having a lot of things going on with Milo. He's getting old. He's reaching the end of his life. Unfortunately, he's going through a lot of health problems. The very sad reality about our pets is that they don't live as long as we would like them to. So if you are curious about Milo, I don't like to talk about it because it makes me emotional, but I did want to give you guys an update that he's here. He's still with us, and he's doing okay. His little tongue hanging out. He just got a bath today, so he's very upset about it. He's giving me the cold shoulder. But he's here and he says hi, and for all of you who left in the comments to say hi to him and that you're wishing him well. I was sure to pass on that love to him. He's still here. Hef is of course still here too. He's running around somewhere. He'll probably make an appearance later because he likes to be vocal when I'm filming these things. So in the last couple months, I had a birthday. I turned 35. I got COVID for the second time. Not ideal, but it happened. I'm fine now. The American political landscape went up in flames for multiple reasons. We will not be discussing that here on this channel, but it's been a source of a lot of stress for me. So when I get stressed, I don't feel creative, and so there was a solid like 2 weeks where I did like nothing crafty at all because I was just like, you know, curled up in a corner in a ball just rocking back and forth. Also, a lot of people have been asking about my sleeve. I'm almost done with it. I have one more session as far as I'm aware until I'm completely finished. I just got to do this part right here in my armpit, and then I'll be finished. And then once I do that, I'm gonna do like a full in-depth kind of video tour and explanation of all the stories that went into the selection of all these things, likely on my Instagram. If there's, I don't know, enough of a desire to learn about it, I guess I can post like an extra video here, but for the most part it's just gonna be on Instagram. And then lastly, to any of you who have been following along with my moths that I've been raising from eggs, unfortunately, it doesn't have the happiest ending. If you're unfamiliar, months ago, there was this moth right here that laid eggs on my wreath outside my door, and I raised them. I brought them in, they hatched, I raised the caterpillars over 8 weeks. They went into their cocoons, and unfortunately, they never came out. So, that's very sad. What I learned after the fact was that by keeping them indoors in a lower temperature, I was decreasing their growth rate, which was, I think, the fatal mistake, because as they were growing slowly, they were still aging, right? But they just weren't keeping up with where they should be for any given time period. And so unfortunately they went into their cocoons and then never came out. So that's the sad and anticlimactic end to that story. But if it ever happens again, I know what to do now. Okay, that's my life update. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, in the plans that I'm going to do at the end of the video, I'm going to talk more about the framing tutorial that I've been promising all of you guys. So if you care about that, by all means, skip ahead if that's the only part you care about, or just, you know, stick around to the end and then we'll talk about it then. Okay. Okay, so let's start out by doing my reading update. If you are new here, the Pages of Pages and Stitches is representative of my third passion, which is reading. I read a lot. I try to read every day, but like I said, you know, in the life update, when I get stressed, I don't feel like doing anything. So I didn't read as much as I normally do. But whatever, let's just do a quick rundown of all the books I've read since we last met. Okay, first up, we have The Dark King by Gina Maxwell. This is the first of a trilogy. Then I have First Down by Reilly. This is the first of a series as well. Then I read Love Theoretically by Hazelwood. This is number 3 in her Women in STEM series. Very good, very funny. Then I started the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. Gild is the first one. And then I read Glint, which is number 2. I think there's 6 total, so I'm working my way through those. And then I'll insert pictures of the other 2 books I read because I read them on Kindle. First one is Midnight Touch by L. Ann, and then the second one is The Chase by Reece Barden. Okay, those are the books I read. So let's talk stitching, shall we? Okay, first we're gonna do my focus project. Yeah. So this is my focus project here. This is the Pointed Fifth by Long Dog Sampler. It is my second oldest whip. I think I started this in 22, maybe. I think so. And I had decided to keep this one out as a focus project, meaning I'm stitching on it every month until it's finished while I work through the rest of my rotation. This is where it was the last time you saw it. It is being stitched on a 32 count exotic orchid Lugana in my own color palette. And unfortunately, the progress I made on this one was not a lot. So here it is now. See, not a lot. Last time you saw it, I think it had that pink line there in the center. And basically all I added was just like this part. And that's it. I did not work on it at all. I mean, I did, just not a lot. So here it is all together. And we're gonna talk about this one. So I had picked this one as my focus project because it is my biggest project. And like I said, it is my second oldest, but I think I'm gonna walk away from it for, not permanently, just for a little bit, for the foreseeable future until I decide to come back to it, because what I learned this past time around with my severe lack of progress on it is I'm kind of just not feeling it right now. And I don't want to force myself to work on something I'm not feeling. I'm just gonna put it away for a minute. I might just put it back in rotation and then work through it with the rest of my rotation, and then not have a focus project for a minute. I don't know. My oldest whip is Frederick the Literate. I'll insert a picture of what that looks like and where it is currently. So I guess I could pull that out as a focus project. I kind of don't want to do that though, because with my calendar project, which you'll see in a minute, it's already basically acting like a focus project. And by having two that I feel obligated to get work in on, it's taking time away from the other projects that aren't getting love. So I think what I'm gonna do is just not have a focus project and just keep going through rotation. At least for now. I mean, like I said, I have no plans whatsoever to abandon this project at all. I still love it very much. I just kind of don't want to work on it for a minute. So by putting it back in rotation, I will step away from it for a little bit. And, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So then by the time I come back to it and bring it back out, then maybe, you know, it will revitalize my excitement for it. Because right now I'm just like thinking about all the other things that I could be stitching. You know what I mean? And that's not the mindset you should have when you're working on a project. So it's gonna go back into my whip pile, and then I'll just bring it back out when it's time. That way, you know, it takes the pressure off, right? I know a lot of people really like that project, so I hope that doesn't disappoint you, but also, like, I gotta do what makes me happy. If it's not sparking joy, as Marie Kondo would say, then wash your hands of it. I'm not going to that extreme. Like, it's not gonna be a UFO. It's just gonna go back in its spot for a minute. Okay, moving right along. The aforementioned calendar project was the next one I worked on, and that is this one here. This is Forest Calendar by Riolis. It is a Riolis kit with the wool acrylic flosses, which I know some people aren't a fan of. I thoroughly enjoy them. I started this as my New Year, New Start January 1st because I did a calendar project last year and I kind of liked following along with that. So I'm gonna finish this as my sort of impromptu or like unofficial focus project for the year. And then I'll have a finish in December. So here's where it was the last time you saw it. I switched out the kit fabric, which was a 14 count natural Aida, and I'm stitching this one on a 16 count Aida in the color Blue Whip. This fabric came from a cross stitch store that has long since gone out of business, so I don't know what you would call this color now. It's kind of like a similar to like a slate blue or like a sea blue green color. I don't know. I'm sorry. So if you like the fabric, I do apologize, but I don't know where you're gonna get it. Okay, here's where I am now. So I have since added May, which is my little owl, and June, which is this cutie patootie little mouse with little strawberries. So cute. Love it. So cute. And then, of course, I'm keeping up with the borders between all the blocks. And officially, I am halfway done because we are obviously halfway through the year. Next is July, and that's gonna go right in here. And then it goes back that way. So I need to, we're almost done with July. I mean, it's the 21st, so I need to get started on this. So next time you see it, I will have at least this part done, likely these two, depending on how long it takes me to get to that update. But yeah, she's looking real cute. Real cute. So I had started this one, like I said, as my new year, new start, because I really liked the way I was tracking sort of my year in cross stitch with my previous calendar project. I'm not sure I'm gonna do it again next year, because then I'll just have a ton of calendars, cross stitch project calendars that, you know, I only have so much wall space. So this will probably be it for in terms of calendar projects. But it's really cute. I'm really liking it. I'm really liking anything that has this green in it, because the way this green looks in person, it's probably my favorite color within the color scheme. So like, this is just really pretty. So let's take a look at what July and August look like. Okay, so July is this one here with the little ladybug. I like how this row is kind of a story in and of itself, right? We've got Mom Hedgehog over here in September with the little mushroom, looking back at little baby hedgehogs here in August, and this one dropped his pack over here in July. Isn't that so cute? That's just the cutest. I love that. So this one will be in next time with a little, it's so hard to tell, but these, there's actually like, you know, there's little white flowers back in here, which you can't really see on this fabric, but it's gonna show up really well on that blue whip fabric. So I'm excited about that. So July, August, likely you'll see these two. Maybe this one. I hope I don't go all the way to September before I do another update, but you know, who knows. I will do it when life allows. There we go. There is Forest Calendar. So this update is the update of stitch-alongs. I did a lot of collaborative stitch-alongs with friends this time around, and so I'm excited to share those with you guys and then with my friends so they can see I am still working on them. So first we have this project here. This is Arranging Mushrooms by Ink Circles. I started this project with Laura of Lala D Stitches. Now, she had started this on another fabric, and then after starting it realized that one of the colors in there really doesn't show up very well in that fabric, and I think she scrapped it. I don't know if she ever started it again. So Laura, if you never did, that's okay. I'm not gonna be like upset about it, but I did start it with her, and it was meant to be a little shared project with the two of us, but I may be the only one soldiering on through this one at the moment. So here's where it was the last time you saw it. I am stitching this on a 16 count, I believe, 16 count pewter green Ada. I will have to verify that that is the correct title, because I don't have the title card anymore. I had a remnant of it and I gave it to a friend with the title card, but I think that's what it is. This is being stitched 2/1 full cross with the called for DMC conversion. So let me show you this. On these are the called for colors, which are all specialty threads that I don't have. So I did the DMC-ish conversion. I like that it says ish. So sort of the called for, but also sort of not. And this is where I am now. This little dude. So I made some pretty good progress. You can actually see more of the colors on it this time. Over here on this side, there's just a couple more mushrooms right here on the side, and then that's as far as it goes, to about there. And then I would just have to repeat these little mushies over here on this side, and then it's done. So I anticipate the next time I pull this out, it's gonna be a finish, because I mean, there's like nothing to it, right? It's just a tiny little thing. So this is going to be a goal of mine to get this finished this year, the next time it comes out in my rotation. This is like I said, teeny little project. So I'm gonna put it aside to be scrapbooked. I have a couple of projects that are small enough that are gonna go in a scrapbook, the same way Laura of Stitching by the Shore does her scrapbook finishes. I just kind of wanted to build up a supply of small projects before I went out and purchased a scrapbook and the supplies to do it, because I mean, I wanted to make sure there was a need for it first. So anyways, this one will for sure be scrapbooks. This cutie patootie little thing. And yeah, it's looking real good with the little teeny baby mushrooms. Little babies. Okay, the next one that I worked on is this project here. This is Come to the Garden by Teresa Kogut, and I started this project with Beth of the Steadfast Stitcher. By the way, I should mention that all of the Flosstubers that I'm talking about, of course, I'll have their channel linked down below so that you can check them out too and give them love if you are not already following them. Anyways, Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher, started this project. She actually accidentally had 2 copies of this somehow, and she gave one away on her channel, and I won it. And so she and I decided we're gonna start it together. So we started it back in November of this last year of 2023, around Thanksgiving time. And she is stitching it as is with all these lovely, beautiful colors. And I am doing a full conversion. I had decided when I first saw this project that this moth here made me think it was more of gonna be like a nighttime kind of garden in my head. So that was my inspiration for what I turned it into. So here is a picture of what it looked like the last time you saw it. I am stitching it on a 36 count linen in deep cornflower blue. Oh, I forgot to mention pewter green Ada, that Arranging Mushrooms was on, as well as this fabric here is done from To Dye For Fabrics. Unfortunately, they are currently on a hiatus from dyeing cross stitch fabric, which is very sad because their fabric is fantastic and vibrant and lovely, but I don't know if they're coming back yet. But still, either way, I did want to mention that that is the shop that I got those 2 fabrics from. So hopefully they'll come back to the cross stitch fabric dyeing world. So this is being stitched 2/2 full cross with the color conversion like I mentioned. And here is where I got to. So you can kind of start to see how all the different colors are going to be working together. I still haven't quite used all of the ones in the conversion that I made, but they're starting to show up more here, which I think is really cool. So last time I think I had just gotten started on this motif. I have since finished it, which I think looks really nice. And then I added this little flower here, this one here, which doesn't have the leaves, and then this little birdie, little pink, I'm sorry, purple and pink bird right underneath. And I think it's looking really cute, really good. So it's more cool toned greens, a few different colors of pink, this sort of darker purple, there's black, and then there's going to be some gray silver colors that show up, and I think some light blues, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have the floss card in front of me that has all the colors on it, but yeah. So this is the transformation. Obviously it's right Here in the middle is where I am. So this is gonna be, yeah, more of like a funky kind of bluer. I mean, do you see where I'm getting the nighttime vibe here, where I was going with it? If not, you know, sorry, I can't help you, but that was the plan. So Beth, what do you think? I know you had given it your stamp of approval before, but now that we can see more of the design coming together on it, I'm super pleased with how it's looking. Love it. It's going to be a little bit bigger than the model. The finished size of the model is 11.25 by 14.25, but it's stitched on a 40 count, and this is on a 36, so it's going to be a little bit bigger. I'm not totally sure how much bigger because I haven't done the size conversion. If I do that while I'm editing, I'll put it on the screen. So there you go. All right, so the next sort of collaborative project that I worked on is this one here. This is Listening to the Silence. And this is an RTO kit that I started with Amy of Fiber Arts. Amy, she saw me mention this project in the haul portion of a previous video, and then she was like, hey, I have that, you want to do it together? And I said, of course I want to do it together. So we did. I believe I started this in September of last year, thereabouts, and she and I are working on it simultaneously. So here's a picture of where it was the last time you saw it. It's being stitched on a 16 count gray Aida. I don't know if it's dove gray, light gray. It doesn't really say. It's just a gray Aida. I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's a 14 count Aida. And it is 2/1, both full cross and half cross. And here is where I got to with her. She has a face. And I think that face is beautiful. So last time you saw her, she was kind of just like a 5 o'clock shadow, which was unfortunate, but she has a face now and it is lovely. So I did also do a little bit of back stitching. I back stitched her nose, the top of the finger here, and then her eyes, both of her lashes and her eyebrows are all back stitched. So that's pretty dang cool. You can see the start of her hand here that's whispering in front of her face. There's the finger there, and then there's fingers here. There's a little purple flower that goes in front here. And then we're going into like some of the other bits around her face here. And then you can start to see some of the background just start to come in. The way I'm doing this is I tend to do kind of a cross country with not a full color completion, but a completion of the whatever thread that I pull. And that's typically how I'll stitch. So I started putting in some of the background here, which is done mostly in half cross because obviously it's background. So yeah, I think she is beautiful. And I love her bright red lips. Those are very pretty. So I don't really know which direction I'm gonna go in next time I pull this out. I will let the project speak to me when I do, and we'll see what happens. You'll be just as surprised as I am when it happens. So Amy, what do you think? I'm so appreciative that you wanted to start this with me because I'm really loving this project. So the next project I worked on, which was the last sort of collaborative project in this go around, was this one here. This is Snapdragon by Nora Corbett. As you can see, I got the project signed by Nora Corbett. I started this with Paula of Stitching in High Heels, and we started it together in October last year at the Queen City Stitch Retreat, which was where we met. And she has since finished hers, and it looks stunning. She stitched hers on like a pink, a warmer pink that's kind of reminiscent of these colors in here. And it looks just beautiful. So of course I'll have her channel tagged. You can go check it out and see her finished product. We are both going back to the Queen City Stitch Retreat this year, also in October, and the plan is to bring our finished projects to display together on the brag table. So she's done. I don't know if she's going to be framing hers before the retreat or not. I mean, obviously traveling without a framed piece is easier, so I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to insert a picture here of where it was the last time you saw it. I am stitching it on a 32 count Serene linen, colorway is Serene, by Picture This Plus, and it's being stitched 2/2 full cross with all the called fors. And here is where I am now. So obviously I'm not done yet. I'm getting there, Paula, I'm getting there. Since you've seen it last, I finished all of the puffy part of her skirt. I still have to do this part here in the middle, which is this more bluey purple. And then after that, it's just, I've started her wings previously. The other wing comes down right here. So after that, it's just a matter of getting the wings and her torso stitched and her hair. And then do the beading. Obviously you can see where a lot of the beads are gonna go. The purple beads in her skirt. And then there's beads along the edges of the wings. But there's only 2 colors of beads. I don't anticipate that part taking me very long. I might keep this out a little bit, not necessarily as like a focus project, but I might try and put some more stitches in it since the goal is to get it finished before the retreat in October, which is coming in hot because obviously we're, you know, a stone's throw away from August, and October is not that far beyond that. So I might keep this out, just to kind of see where I can get with it, and also to try and finish it before the retreat. So there she is. There's her big voluminous skirt. I love the colors so much. I picked this little project because I loved all the purple. Purple's my favorite color. And I had finished a Mira, my first Mira, last year in September, I think. So I wanted to start another Mira Nora project after that, and this was the one that I had settled on, so I love it. Okay, the next one I'm pretty excited about because it's a finish. I finished, finally. Sort of. Well, let me explain. I had previously started a project that was kind of an impromptu sort of improvised sampler that I was going to make by combining 2 patterns from 2 different just cross stitch magazines. So the 2 patterns that I was going to combine were this one here. This is called Dance in the Moonlight, and it is in the June 2023 of Just Cross Stitch magazine. This design is by Allison Peterson. And then the other project that I was going to combine is this one here. This is Starry Moth, and this one is in the October 2023 Just Cross Stitch magazine, not the Halloween edition, just the October edition. And this design is by Janine McGowan. So the plan originally was to do this moth with the moon border and then the little flower border, and then do away with the words and the fireflies, and then below the flower border do this moth, again just the moth, not the words of the border, and then repeat this border down at the bottom. That's not what I did. First, let me insert a picture of what it looked like the last time that you saw it. This is being stitched on a 20 count Purple Passion Ada 1/1 full cross with the called for colors, and here is it now. And this I'm calling this done. I finished the Luna Moth and then the 2 borders, and like I said, I wasn't gonna put in the fireflies, and the plan originally was to put the other moth here and then repeat this down here, but I changed my mind because the more I looked at the other moth, while I do like it, it just kind of doesn't fit. It just doesn't. So it's not the colors. The colors are beautiful, but looking at it, you can see it's, so first, these are Algerian eyelets, which I had considered just converting to traditional crosses because I'm stitching it on an Aida. You can do Algerian eyelets on an Aida, it's just harder. And I didn't want to do that. And then also the style of the Moth body, I don't care for. So then I was like, okay, well, I can switch it up. I can convert it. First of all, I'll take the eyes out and change the antenna to match what the other Moth looks like. But I kind of don't want to do that. So I just kind of decided what I have is what it's going to be. And I'm just fine with that because I think this is very, very pretty and very cute. I really enjoyed 1/1 on 20 count. I had previously stitched on 20 count 2/1 and it was just not enjoyable. I found it too cumbersome. This was pretty fun as is. It's not like the craziest coverage up close, but like looking at it in the viewfinder here, it looks great. So I'm not upset about it at all. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave this done. The finished size of this is less than 4x5. It's little. So this is also gonna go in the pile to be scrapbooked since it's a tiny little thing. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. So, hooray, unintentionally, I have a finish, my first finish for the year. And there it is. I don't, as of yet, have intentions to start something else, like to take place of this project in the rotation. That may change, but currently it's not. I don't have anything in the docket to start. If I did start another project, it would be another small, and I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking like, why start another small whenever I can just work on what I currently have, which all needs stitches. Like I said, that may change because of course everybody gets the itch to start something eventually, right? But if and when that comes back around, I'll let you know. Also, I think if I do that, I might start something else in one of these two catalogs because there's a bunch of beautiful patterns in here that I like a lot. So here's the breakdown of the patterns in the June issue. So like I really like this flower pot. I like the tea kettle with the gnome. I like this seasonal, I think this is the summer witch or summer, I think she's a witch. I like the flower seed packets. So yeah, those are cute. Also, I think the little fruits are really cute too. And then just for giggles, here's the projects from the October issue. I really like, this is the cover picture, the lantern. I like that one a lot. There's a lovely pumpkin there. I like the bears. This little tile. I like these two, the haunted house and then the little witchy sampler. And then there's a Halloween witch, just like the summer one. Yeah. So there's possibilities. I just don't have any intentions of starting anything at the moment. Okay, so the last project that I put stitches in on in the last couple of weeks is this one here. This is Marty Bell's Enticing, and it was put out by Jeanette Cruz Designs. And Marty Bell has a lot of artwork that cross stitch patterns are based on, and I love all of them. I think they're all beautiful. So the last time you saw this, it looked like this here. This is being stitched on an 18 count ivory Aida, 2/1 full cross. And this pattern, while it is one of my smallest, has the most colors. It has almost 80 colors for what is ultimately going to be about oh God, what's the finished size? 5 by 9.5. A tiny little thing, which I think is humorous. Okay, so here's where I am now. Ta-da! I put in some good work. So last time I didn't have much more than the door and a couple of the flowers next to it. Now I have made it all the way to the left border here and put in more of these beautiful yellow flowers, lots of the greenery, and then of course some more random stitches elsewhere. Like I said before, I tend to pull a thread and then complete that thread wherever it takes me with that particular color, so that's why you see a lot of random little ninja stitches. This is the page break here, and then right about here is the middle of the pattern. So this is going to be essentially the full width across. It's 5 inches across. It's going to be tiny. Teeny tiny little thing, and I love that. I think that is precious. So this was tons of fun. Some patterns, you know, you just have to make yourself step away from. Otherwise, at least when you're filming Flosstubes, you won't have anything to show for it. This is one of them. I just really, like, I would put in a stitch and I think, okay, I'm going to stop after this thread. And then I'd be like, well, I'm going to finish this little section right here. And then I'd be like, well, okay, now I'm going to finish this one right next to it. And so, I mean, yeah, it's just very cute. So cute and pretty. There is a lot of back stitching in this project. Quite a bit. And it's that kind of back stitching that's like multiple colors. Some of them overlap and go over and under other parts of back stitching. So normally I'm the type, I don't mind back stitching at all. Normally I'm the type to back stitch as I go, but I think what I'm going to do with this one, because it's kind of an intricate style of back stitching, is I think I might wait and do it to the end, just so I can have it fully laid out in front of me. I can see all of it, and then I can just work my way down with back stitching instead of trying to track it as I go. You know, I think that's what I'm gonna do. If any of you have stitched this pattern or any other Jeanette Cruz Marty Bell patterns, let me know. I want to know what your experience was like with it, especially with the back stitching part, because of the way it's charted. It's pretty intricate. Okay, that was it. That was my progress. I feel like it was a good amount of progress, but given that I had like 10, 11 weeks to do it, maybe not. I don't know. Like I said, there was a period where I just wasn't feeling creative because I was stressed and I was sick, and anyways, I did what I could. So for next time, I am going to do the next blocks on my force calendar, and then I'm going to keep working through my rotation. I think I only have like 2 more pieces until I've made a full rotation through all of my projects, and then I'll start over at the beginning. Technically the beginning will include my long dog sampler, but I think I'm going to skip that one since, like I said before, I kind of just want to take a little break from it, just for a minute, you know? So I'm going to keep working through my whips, hopefully knock out another however many. And then the goal is to maybe try and get another update up by the end of September, certainly. I will post all my progress of everything on my Instagram. So like I said, feel free to check me out there. It's the same handle as it is here on YouTube. And if you have any questions at all, leave a comment down below. If I don't have the answer, I will try and find one for you. Any and all products that I've mentioned that I can link, I will also have in the description box. Lastly, I promised you an update regarding framing tutorials. So I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten, but I just haven't gotten to it yet. So what I'm going to do in the coming weeks and months is I'm going to work on a framing tutorial for 2 projects. The first one is this one here. This was my calendar project for last year. This is my Clouds Factory Magical Creatures calendar. And then the next one is actually not my project. It's this project here. This, I think, is called Quilted or Quilting Sampler. You know what? I actually don't even know. I think that's what it's called. Whatever it's called, I will insert in on screen. And this is a Carolyn Manning pattern. I bought this pattern as a gift for my mother for some holiday. Couldn't tell you which one. A while ago, and she finished it. So I'm gonna frame this for her and this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to show you and walk you through the process of how I order a custom frame from my preferred website, as well as going through a big box store. I'm gonna be using Michael's. So if you are unfamiliar, you can order a custom frame through a big box store like Michael's or like Hobby Lobby, and still frame it yourself. I know a lot of people are really hesitant to bring artwork or cross-stitch projects into a big box framer because people have had some horror stories with how they've handled their work in the past. So I'm going to show you how you can still utilize that service but do it at home. So you can still order the frame, you can still order a mat if you wanted to, you can still order glass or acrylic or whatever it is you want in the center, and then frame it yourself at home. So I'm going to show you both of those methods while still doing it yourself. And then hopefully that'll encourage you guys out there to try it yourself. We love our cross stitch stuff and we want to have it displayed, but framing is pricey, or it can be at least, and intimidating for people who have never done it before. I am by no means an expert at all. I framed a few of my own projects, including pinning and lacing. I framed some stuff that I've gifted to people, and for the most part, it's worked out well. So I'm just going to show you how I do it through methods that I learned from watching other tutorials, for doing a little bit of research. I have a brother who works as a professional framer in Colorado. I can't really utilize him because he's in Colorado, I'm in Texas. And he does like high-end framing for like rich people and like museums and stuff. So I've sort of picked his brain on a couple of things. And yeah, hopefully it'll help you feel like you can do it too, so that you can get some of your work up on the wall and do it without breaking the bank. Because all of our work deserves to be loved and displayed in whatever way we want it displayed. So yes, anyways, that is coming soon. Ordering custom frames, at least through the website that I'm going to be ordering it through, is not fast because obviously they have to make it to order every time. So it usually takes 3 to 4 weeks to get the frame that I order. So don't hold your breath looking for the tutorial video soon. My goal is to just get it up by the end of the year. So I just wanted to bring these up just so you know that I have not forgotten that I told you guys I was going to do that. I will. It's coming eventually. Okay, I'm done now. That's everything. Like I said, I will be filming my Quilter's Corner update on the stuff that's hanging out behind me in the next hour or so, and then I will edit them and get them up whenever I do that. Editing is not fast, so sometimes it takes a day or two. So that's it. I don't have anything else that I can think of. Like I said, if you have any questions, drop me a comment. My email is included down below. If you have a question you want to ask privately or a comment you want to make privately, you can always send me an email. I read every comment you guys make. I am not fast about responding to them. I will do it eventually. I'm not so overwhelmed by comments that I can't respond to them all. I just am very slow about doing it, and then I forget to do it until I make a floss tube, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta respond to those comments. So don't let that discourage you if it takes me a minute to get back to you. And but I do read everything you send me. I do see all the well wishes and the support, and I really appreciate it. So thank you for interacting with me. Thank you for sticking around to this point. If you have, I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I hope you have a good few weeks, good few months, and we'll catch up again next season, I guess. All right, bye.